Sure.
That's I think because I said I was going to turn it off and then I didn't turn it off. Yeah. I just stabbed him in the eye.
Happening now, the Neal Adams started a live video of Kris needle pointing.
That would make Dad crazy.
That would
What?
drive. Oh, Dad's not the only one that would drive crazy.
Who else would it drive crazy?
Jason.
Oh. What, he thinks it's
You
stupid?
should have to start on a piece of art because that's what shows when, after you're done shooting the show and it's up, on the list.
Oh, is that what he says? He actually gives that piece of information. Thank you.
Well, he only mentioned it once, like a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can pick the image.
Here, I'll put up a piece for it. Okay.
Too late, man.
We'll make everybody happy. Okay, I'm done anyway. Finished it. All right, just to make everybody happy, I'll put up a piece of art. Well, you can put the back wall. How about the back wall? The back wall's like a giant piece of art back there.
That is true.
My bird head is done.
Your bird head.
Bird.
Bird. It's a bird.
Neal's book of work stories.
Oh boy. We've got comments already. Ford says, good evening. Terry says, hey.
Hey.
Gustavo says, hola on YouTube. See, Gustavo now has 3 places that he can come and make me say hola every time. Because that's what he enjoys
the Hola
to do.
Bear. Hola Bear.
How many times can you get Zeea to say hola?
I am catching up to you guys.
You can get me to say Olo, if that gets me markers. If saying Olo gets me markers, I will say Olo till the cows come home.
All right. I'm getting closer. It says we're lives. I don't want to hit it up there.
I didn't make my coffee.
Do you want to go make your coffee? Go quick, make your coffee. I'll entertain them.
Right, just to forewarn you guys coming in on Instagram, nobody's going to be able to read what you're saying. Do you want me to turn the camera to you or leave it on the back wall?
I just leave it on the back wall. I can just do this and get in the camera if I have to. They could hear me off camera. I'm actually sideways too. Yeah, I can go. No, I have to go this way. Where am I? Good evening, Ford. I go this way. Oh, okay. You're on this side of the table. Got it. Zeea just went to go make herself a cup of coffee. So how is everybody? Jim Hackett is watching. Okay, so I need the group of know-it-alls that know everything about Neal Adams because I have some questions tonight that I'm going to run by you guys to see what you guys think, which I wrote it on Facebook last night, but I don't think anybody understood what I was writing last night. So, and since we have to wait for people to come on, we will see what this was all about. So, in Neal's book of work stories, which aren't work stories, it's really his billing book from his early days. And I was looking for the other day on, I don't know if it was a Neal Adams appreciation page or where I saw it, but there was a photo of Neal, and Neal was talking about how they're doing like film strips in a comic kind of format for teaching kids or something like that in the photo. And everybody was like, oh, are they talking like motion comic? And then it was, no, this is very early. And I had said that we had spent a Christmas or pre-Christmas, Dad had come home with a job that was like a bunch of film strips where we had to draw like storyboard frames. And even Grandma Adams came over to help color because Dad was so jammed up on the job. And Mom was coloring. And that was the first job they let me do some coloring. I got to color books in a bookcase. It was my first coloring job for Dad. And there was a film strip we did actually on Muhammad Ali. So since I came across Dad's billing book the other day, I was like, I wonder if so the whole thing was we actually worked through Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. And as much as that sounds horrible, like here's a whole family burning the midnight oil till Christmas Day.
But it's on comic books.
Well, it was film strips, so it was storyboards. But it was like we were in the front room where Dad's studio was, which was like, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 feet by 9 feet or something like that. So it was a small little area, but it was like Grandma and Mom and Dad were all coloring, and it was Christmas and it was snowing. We all had hot chocolate.
So you weren't sweating whether Santa was going to make it then?
No, we had hot chocolate and candy canes, like a Hallmark movie.
Adam's Family Christmas.
Working. And it was good. But the bad side of the story was we had worked all through Christmas and Dad never got paid for it.
No.
So the interesting thing was, though, years later, I was like in the school library and somehow I had come across the film strips we had worked on. And you kind of had to roll it through a machine to see it. Like you put the film in and then you roll it and there was a light in it. It was like a little boxy thing and you rolled it. I was like, holy shit, I wonder if I could find the bookcase I colored because that's all I cared about. So I know they were out there and they did get made even though we didn't get paid for it and gave up, a good Christmas to do the work. But then I found Neal's book of his billings from his early, like from when he just started. So I went through this seeing whether or not, I wonder if that Christmas shows up in here. Like maybe we can, because everybody had asked, like, do you know who the client was?
Oh, and Senor Cirillo has joined us.
And I was like, no, I don't know. Hello, Rich. I don't know who the client was on it. I just know it was film strips. It was educational.
Oh, so you found it in his book?
No, I didn't find it in the book.
It's not in the book.
Well, going through the book, see, this is like a twofold story now.
Right.
While going through the book, okay, all of a sudden, before Ben Casey hits, Dad actually writes, and he's got the Chip Martin, and he refers to the Chip Martins as, does he refer to them as Chip Martin? Here, hold on a second. No, he actually refers to them as AT&T, okay? But his AT&Ts, he was getting a steady amount of money for those one-page things, okay? And he's like putting them in here. I did it July 13th. I got paid July 31st. I got paid, he didn't do them that week. But, I mean, he's obviously doing them. AT&T, he's getting paid the same amount of money every week or whatever. And then all of a sudden, he actually writes AT&T comic book. So I was like, what's an AT&T comic book? And it happens before he starts Ben Casey. Because I can see in this book where Dad starts Ben Casey. And he doesn't put the year, he just puts the date in this book. So I don't know what year we're talking about.
It's got to be like,
and
if it's before Ben Casey, it's got to be like early 63, 62.
Right, exactly. So, and the amount of money next to this AT&T comic book that he lists is bigger. It's not one of the pages he was doing because the amount of money, because it was the amount of money that made my eyes stop a minute and go, what was that juicy job? So I wrote last night and I said, does anybody know whether or not Neal did an AT&T comic book? Because he may have, and that may have been his first comic book. because he did.
Ooh.
I mean, he starts this book with his Jughead and Archie and Reggie and Archie and Archie and Jughead, and he lists the name of the strips that the jokes that he did, and he obviously did a lot of joke pages, and he got paid very little money for that.
It's all in relative terms.
Right. And then he finally got work on a film strip, which it could be this company that's called remarques that shows up. Now that may be who we did the film strips for. I don't know.
M-A-R-K or M-A-R-C?
It's M-A-R-C and then an X. So that may be who we did it for. I don't know. They're obviously doing advertising work. But like I said, Neal lists, and it's listed as an AT&T comic book. It has a larger amount of money to it. I don't think these are the AT&T Bell Chip Martin pages that he was doing, College Reporter, because he lists those differently than he's listing this AT&T comic book. And it was done before Ben Casey. And if it truly was a comic book, now a comic book can be 4 pages, a comic book can be 6 pages. It doesn't have to be, a big comic book. But is that Dad's first comic book? And then I asked if anybody has seen this. So there we go. So we're stumped. That is my search and find. Did Neal Adams do an AT&T comic book that none of us have seen?
I'm not finding anything. Victor Polishi Comics says, hello, ladies. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. So that's what we have to hunt down. An AT&T comic book done before Ben Casey. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, our super sleuths.
That's right. You guys like to find these things. Now I have something to find. Or has anyone,
should you choose to accept?
Anyone ever seen these? I mean, for all I know, you guys know exactly what it is. But I don't know.
Hi, Marilyn.
So I'm going to start my show tonight. So we're basically waiting for everybody to load up that's going to join us for tonight. So I figured I would ask that question and clarify what I was talking about last night in regards to AT&T and a comic book with Neal Adams. So I'm going to blast off. Are we ready, Zeea?
Go for it, Kris.
Okay. Our first bomb for the night. Yay. Okay, so this is how we... Hello, Fred Warner from Los Angeles. How are you?
And hello, Jim Hackett.
So,
I have my cauldron of coffee, and I'm ready to go.
Zea's ready to go. I'm ready to go. And we have waited our time here. So basically, the way this works is we will show Neal Adams' art.
And various other sundries.
Various other things. As I do it, you can say, I'd like
claim
to
is a great word
that.
to use.
Good, I already lost a tag in the wrong place. I will put this up while we were talking.
Organize your thoughts there.
Yes. So you would say, I would like to claim one of those DC classic books. We would recognize it. You would claim it in the comment bar the same way everyone is saying hello to us tonight. We will then recognize it by going, hey, Fred Warner wants to claim something. We'll make noise.
Which is my favorite part of the evening.
And then we'll make sure that this is what you want to claim. We will then do a bomb like I just shot off, or bigger. Sometimes we do bigger bombs. And then we will ask you to please direct message us through either Instagram or Facebook, your name, your address where I am shipping to, and an email address for us to have and to be able to send you a PayPal information.
And for those of you on YouTube, if you need to send us a message, if you go to the nealadamsstore.com, which I just put up the website, there is a contact us, and you can send us an email.
Right. There. So, and you could call out whatever you want to call out. We could talk about whatever you would like to talk about. Sometimes we are less knowledgeable than you guys, but the people in the room with us are very knowledgeable on Neal Adams stuff. So if you have any questions in regards to Neal, this is like a good place to have a Neal Adams conversation. Like I said, I kind of went down this rabbit hole myself, that was caused by a photograph of Dad that had gotten posted where Dad was making a comment about comics and being used for education and film stuff. And everybody was like, what is he talking about? And I knew exactly what he was talking about. And the picture is very old. Yeah. So
people going to Neal, what are you talking about?
Right. Which led me to the book, which then led me to what is this AT&T comic book? So, and it was done pre, what is that other comic he did? No, I can't think of the name of it. It's a little brochure thing that's like a comic book that he did.
It's not the Chipmunk.
That has like a guy with a gun on the front of it. And I can't think of what it is. But in any case, I'll talk about it next week. So I'm going to start tonight by, I guess, talking about, I just want to go through the gallery. We're going to go through some stuff that we normally go through. But I have to plug my IDW DC gallery book, which all of you wanted.
Yeah, so these better sell out for all the noise
everybody was like, why isn't there a Neal Adams gallery book? And so we now have a Neal Adams gallery book that's coming out, I believe, the beginning of October or very end of September. So these are original page size, which would be 11 by 17.
Hold on. Victor Polishi Comics says, question from an amateur artist. Where is the best place to see lessons from Neal?
Neal has a Patreon that he does teach lessons of drawing.
Yeah, there is a Patreon page. I don't off the top of my head remember what it's called, but if you send us a direct message, we will find that out for you. And Ben
it's under Neal Adams drawing.
And Ben Flay says, will the book be in the UK?
I'm pretty sure it probably will be in the UK. I will find that out. That's not a question I've been hit with yet. But if IDW distributes to the UK, which I'm sure they do, I would bet that this will be in the UK. Now, what I'm going to explain is what are you looking at that will be different.
Right. And you want to know this.
Right. Because this may be what you want over what they have. So basically when I made the deal with DC and IDW to do these books for Neal, we had asked whether or not we could get copies that are our copies, that are different than everyone else's copies. So we worked it out that I could get 2 different covers that will have 100 book runs to them. So there'll be 100 books that only have the 251 cover, and there'll be 100 books that will only have the Kryptonite Nevermore Superman cover. So if you're interested in either one of these covers, you have to buy it through Continuity or Neal Adams because it's the only place that will have these. You're not going to find them on Amazon. You're not going to find them in the comic stores. You won't find them in the UK. Okay. If you want the ones with Green Lantern 86, and the Ra's al Ghul cover, those will make it to the UK. Those will be in the comic stores. Those will be sold everywhere, and those will have much bigger print runs because those are the 2 main covers that are being used on this gallery run. The interiors of all 4 books are exactly the same.
Right. It's only the covers
It is
that are different.
only the covers that are different. And the two covers that are in front of you right now are the two covers that only have 100 of these and 100 of these.
That's right. So it's very limited edition considering what the demand for these books are.
Right. So if you're interested in getting one of these, you should go to the Neal Adams Store.com, and you can then place an order through the Neal Adams Store.com. And remember, Neal is spelled Neal. So it's Neal Adams Store.com. And that's where you can get them. Okay. And they're priced a little bit heavier than what the Green Lantern and the Ra's al Ghul cover will be. Just so you know. They're a higher price due to the fact that they have a smaller run. All right, so that is my gallery books. And this is pre-ordering. They're not out yet. We don't have them. It's a pre-order.
If they're not coming out till a little before New York Comic Con.
Yeah, that's what it is. I heard it was supposed to be the beginning of October, so whatever. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show was also we still have copies. We still have copies of The Vault, which is a book that we produced, which has the first issues of some of Continuity's comics. The Vault has armor on the front cover. It has Megalith on the back cover. The pages on the inside are black and white. So it has the first issue of Megalith Revengers. It has the first issue of Armor. It has the first issue of Hybrids. It has the first issue of She-Bat. And it has the first issue of Nighthawk. And these are done large in black and white. So you're seeing the line work without the color. Covers are in color in this book. And this book sells for $40 in the US, $54 in Canada. This also can be purchased through the NealAdamsStore.com, or you can actually purchase this during our show if you'd like to do it that way. But it is a great book. It's a nice format. It's large, but it's not overly large. And it has a lot of Neal Adams work in it. So once again, if you want to learn stuff, this is actually a great book. And then what I thought was interesting was that I realized, like, this, if you've read Megalith, you know that Megalith started as an Olympian, and Neal does this like whole workout sequence here where Megalith is working out because he's a power lifter in the Olympics, and he also likes to pole vault and run, and he's an all-round Olympic type guy, if you ever read Megalith. And what was interesting was the other night we were talking about Len Wein and the difference between Len Wein's writing and Denny O'Neil's writing with Neal. And I realized that in the Moon of the Wolf story that Len wrote, which had a guy who obviously was leaning towards a steroid story, but he was getting mixed some kind of juice with werewolves from somewhere, juice, so that he was having a problem where he was turning into a werewolf. And I was like, God, the sequence in that story is very similar to Megalith, as if like Neal picked up the layout, but it is a different layout. But I thought it was interesting that here this guy is kind of an Olympian. Neal does this like workout sequence in the story of Moon of the Wolf, and it's very similar in feeling, but it is a lot different than Megalith's Olympic story. But it just like when I hit this the other day, I was like, wow, that feels just like Megalith. So check that out because that's pretty cool too.
I don't know. I think the guy with the Mo haircut is the one that messed with his serum.
Yeah, he's the bad guy.
Hey Mo!
He does look like Mo. I think his name was like Dr. Zin or something like that. So, but he does make a monster. But it's interesting when an artist does one story and then they do a similar story. And even though they're doing two different page layouts, there's a familiarity to seeing it. Such as like even here, I was talking to Zeea that there's like a construction site in this When We Moon of the Wolf story that Neal did. And it feels very much like, once again, Cyberad, where Cyberad is in the construction site, all the ways down to there's like a pallet that Neal draws next to the steel girdered building that's open and being built. And that's where Cyberad lands on cement bags or whatever it is. But it has exactly the same feel to it.
Well, you've seen one construction site, you've seen
right. So it seems like in Moon of the Wolf, you get like a little piece of Megalith coming in the future, and you get a little piece of Cyberad coming in the future. So it's very reminiscent of a lot of stuff. So I thought that was funny. But it is different because I was like, I'm going to catch Dad. He did the same layout. He ripped off himself. But he didn't.
Nope. He just gave it the
Never
same
catch
feel.
Dad. Never. Okay, so we're going to start the show with artwork. And like I said, if you guys want to talk, we could talk Neal. So are we ready?
We are ready.
Or have I driven everyone insane tonight? What is she talking about? What?
Your plastic.
Not yet, because I'm going to do a book.
Oh, okay.
We're going to start with Blue Lady.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's allowed to buy this.
Lady. Oh, yeah.
Just
For those people.
Kris will offer a number, but I don't want you to get it because I want it.
Like, so when Kris has a piece of art and I say, don't buy it, and then you guys always buy it. Well, this is Zea's doesn't want anyone to buy this. So what we're looking at is a very old Neal Adams sketchbook.
Which we believe this may be the last one we have.
We have like a couple of these. Probably like three or four.
We have our like last ditch.
Save
bunch.
It. Right. Actually, I think two of them that we have has a different cover, but it is the same interior. But this book, which for some reason I opened, thank God, and what Dad had drawn in the front page for some reason is basically it's the Blue Lady from that piece that he did for the cover of Star Reach, number 2, I believe. So that is an original drawing by Neal. Like I said, it is based on Star Reach number 2's cover that Neal drew. It is the same Blue Lady that everybody fell in love with the planets and the long hair, and she's naked. And it's hidden inside of this book, which Kris could have just grabbed and sent to somebody, and they would have gotten a really nice book.
Everybody's cursing you out.
And for all they knew, this wasn't an original drawing. This would just have been like, oh, it's the front of the book.
Yeah. So
this has an original Neal Adams drawing of the Blue Lady, and it is signed by Neal. And then, of course, it has Neal's interview by Arlen Schumer, with a lot of nice artwork of how Neal does stuff. So it's a really nice book. And this book is pretty much out of print. Like that's from Superman versus Muhammad Ali. Just happened to hit that in there. There was Green Lantern, Green Arrow is where I was originally. And like I said, it has an original Blue Lady from Star Reach number 2 from, I feel like it was the 80s. is when he originally did this. And we are selling this book for $6,000. So this, because it is original art, can go on the payment plan. The payment plan works by putting a third down, and then you can pay off the remaining balance over time in monthly payments to us. When it is completely paid off, we then ship whatever you purchased out to you. There's no interest and there's no penalties. Yes, Zeea. With the puzzle book.
Sorry, Carrillo, I don't know what you mean. You want me to say that? Well, if I don't know what it means, I'm not going to say it. Sorry. I did take Spanish in high school, and I failed miserably. I could pronounce things, but I couldn't tell you what the hell I was saying.
Okay. We're going to do some eye. All right, so this, I think you have is a pan and scan. I think you pan and scan these.
Yeah. Find it.
Okay, so we're going to see if we have a pan and scan on this. So if you were on Instagram, you will not see the pan where we come in very tight and you see the artwork better. If you have a Facebook account, you may want to go over to your Facebook under Neal Adams Comic Creator. To be able to see this better, or you can go on YouTube to nealadams.com, NEALADAMSDOTCOM. Okay, so what we're looking at is this is a facsimile edition of the Batman with Man-Bat. And what Zeea is now panning and scanning is the Man-Bat remarque. So that's an original drawing by Neal in silver Sharpie of Man-Bat that we sell for $600. And then we have a comic that has an original Batman head, again, facsimile edition, which is colored by Neal, and that is also $600. So does that make sense to you guys? What I just said. So it is facsimile editions of the Detective Batman and Robin, which had the Man-Bat cover on it with Batman. Neal drew the silver Man-Bat head as well as this Batman head that he colored. Each one of these books is available for $600 each. What do you do, Zeea?
Blocking somebody with a foul mouth on Instagram.
No.
Just foul mouth in Spanish, but I did the Google Translate and found out what it was he was writing.
Oh,
so
okay.
we are just going to do.
Okay. So these are available. And maybe Zeea will do the pan and scan one more time.
Sorry. Okay, I'll do the Batman one now.
Okay.
All right, and for the Instagrammers, zoom in. You can see the Man-Bat.
Okay, so it's Challenge of the Man-Bat, Detective Batman and Robin. And again, here's a really nice Batman head, pen and ink, and color Neal. And Neal never colors his remarques. This is one of the few times that he did color on a remarque. So these can be bought. They are $600 each. And actually on the Batman, I have two different Batmans that were done as remarques that are colored by Neal.
Oh. I think that when you had it first, I think that's the pan and scan that I showed.
Oh, okay. Well, there are two Batman heads, which we can shoot if somebody is interested, and then you can pick which one you might like. Man Bat, I only have one of. So again, these are facsimile comics drawn on by Neal. And the Batmans are slightly different. I mean, they are Batman with a cowl, but when you look at the line drawing, they are different from each other. And Zea's skin actually has $800 on it. We are selling these for $600.
Did my skin have a price tag on it? Derp.
Okay. Don't worry about it. Okay, I'm going to move on. So those were my Man Bat and Batman remarques. This one, I don't think we have a panda skin of. This is Havoc, where I have a Havoc head drawn on a cover that Neal did for a comic store. So this is a cover variant. I can move my tag. Sorry. So the Havoc remark, I believe, is up on the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's on your this right, side, yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. On this side. Again, that is Neal using a silver Sharpie and black Sharpie to draw the Havoc head. It is signed by Neal. And this is also a fairly older cover that Neal did. It was a cover variant that he did for a comic store with the red skull. So a nice cover by Neal with Havoc, as well as having an original Havoc head on it for $400. Okay, and then my last one, just to make everybody crazy, is I have a Nova remark on Champions, which this is another cover that Neal did for Marvel. And I believe over here is a Nova head, which is cool. I'm going to move it up so it's got less reflections there. Again, it has a nice signature by Neal, an original drawing by Neal, and it is a Neal Adams cover. And we sell this for $400. So again, nice remarks by Neal.
All right, which Krusty Bunker is watching? There's a Krusty Bunker on Instagram.
Kris is selling remarks.
Okay. How dare you?
I'm going to go into some original art. Okay. I have
Havoc.
Yeah. Where's my plastics?
Where's your plastic?
Where's my plastics? Okay.
Jesus, that piece of confetti that was rolling across the table. Like, what the hell is that?
That's like when I took a shower the next morning after a show, and something flew off my body that was dark,
hi Nick,
purplish blue, and I almost had a heart attack. And it was like some kind of water bug fell off of me. And it was one of these things that obviously was stuck on me from last Wednesday night. Okay, so we are looking at, it's a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. This actually has a slightly larger box than what Neal normally has on these papers. And this is $900 to buy. It is Havoc by Neal. It is a signed piece by Neal, pen and ink Havoc, $900. So if you're into the character Havoc, I would say this is a nice piece to have. I don't think we have any other Havocs left. This is probably my last Havoc outside of the Havoc remarque.
How's tricks, Nick?
Okay.
I do on occasion wish there was some option that you can send a little electric shock to people that are like butt munches online. Just go.
Okay, next one up is an 8.5 by 11. Now this is a really nice Lieutenant Blueberry, which you really have to be a European comic fan to know what Lieutenant Blueberry is. Neal loved Lieutenant Blueberry. It was a series that he was like, oh my God, when he got his hands on it.
He kind of reminds me of the actor that was in Tremors. I can't remember what his name was.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is. We sell this piece for $800. It is signed by Neal. Again, this comes from Lieutenant Blueberry. Personally, I would love to have someone buy this, have Zeea color it, because then I'll bring in all my Lieutenant Blueberries, and she would use marker.
Actually, you know what? If we were to color this on a copy, I could print it on watercolor paper, and I could watercolor. Hi, Stewie. Stuart's watching.
I see. So $800 for Lieutenant Blueberry. Again, Lieutenant Blueberry comes from Europe. And this is like
Fred
a really
Ward. Thank you, Jason.
Nice piece of art here. So everybody Google Lieutenant Blueberry.
That's right. I wonder why his name was Lieutenant Blueberry, because I can't imagine that was like his name, Blueberry.
I don't know. Yeah, we don't repeat with us. I just looked at the pictures. I never read it. Okay.
Like Remo Williams. I was so sad when he died. Fred Ward died this year.
Yeah. That was sad. Okay, Thor, unfinished rough pencil.
Unconventionally attractive.
Thor! See, Happy Powers says it's a very nice piece.
He does.
So this is Thor. This is a pencil for Neal himself before he would then take this down and start inking it. Happy Towers agrees that Remo Williams is great. And we totally agree with you. Thor is 11 by 14. He is in pencil. This was done for Neal, which really means that Neal laid down the problems that he would have with this piece, which would be the perspective of that arm with the hammer coming forward. How does the costuming work on Thor? And then once Neal felt secure with the figure, he actually made a finished drawing of this that we then made a print of that we sold at many comic conventions. So this is Thor, and I think there's a price on Thor.
$800.
$800 is the price for Thor. Thor does not have a signature on it, so in this case, we would have a certificate of authenticity that we will send along with it at no charge, stating that this is drawn by Neal.
H. Cerna, Kris just mentioned that this is not signed by Neal, so it will get a certificate of authenticity sticker.
Well, it gets a whole sheet.
Oh, the whole sheet. Okay.
That has the sticker on it that has Neal Adams' signature and a hologram, and it states that it is an original 8.5 by 11 pencil by Neal Adams, which normally we charge $20 for which we don't charge. If Neal hasn't signed the piece, then we do free certificates of authenticity. If it is a signed piece by Neal and you want a certificate of authenticity, you can buy that for an additional $20.
And Nick says that Lieutenant Blueberry's real name was Mike Steve Donovan.
I like Lieutenant Blueberry better.
Yeah.
Now that Nick has crushed my.
Well, I was curious. I was the one that asked the question. Okay. Yeah, I just heard. Is this something we can send straight to CGC? Does CGC do
Thor? Ask Nick.
11 by 14? Nick, since you're watching, does CGC do 11 by 14?
Well, do they do artwork?
Yeah, they do sketches, but it's just the question of the size.
Also, at this point, I don't know if CGC, well, maybe they do blue labels or something like that. They just changed their rules with artwork right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what is Nick?
Well, I mean, we wouldn't be able to get these signature series. Nick says, nope, no more CGCs for this. So no.
Okay. So, like I said, CGC has changed a number of their rules, especially when it comes to artwork these days. So, according to Nick, who deals with CGC out of our comic store in LA, he just said no, that this would not be able to get CGC, which probably has to do with their new rules and the fact that Neal is not alive.
Nick says they can't do this piece because AI cannot verify a sketch, only a signature. Well, is there like a blue label clamshell that this could go in? Because I mean, he wasn't specifying
a yellow label. Can you get a blue label for this?
CGC can do artwork, just not unsigned pieces. Okay.
So the fact that this is not signed will get in the way of getting it CGC. Sorry, Thor.
Wah, wah. But thanks for letting us know, Nick.
Okay. But like I said, we can give you a certificate of authenticity that you can put in the frame with the piece. And to be perfectly honest, if it's a certificate with my penmanship on it, it's a for realsy, no matter what it is that CGC says. You know, it's always smarter to buy from the family of the artist than it is to buy it from just about anyone else.
Victor says, we still love you, Thor.
Exactly. Okay, this is a Batman that a number of people actually, when I put up that we were doing a show tonight with the, yes.
Nick is now saying it's be sealed, but they could potentially get a blue label, but I can pursue this and see if I can get it done as a poster. All right, so maybe, Nick, you communicate with Victor, who is the comment just above you, to see if they
Victor
want to.
Savino?
No.
Oh, different Victor.
Different.
Okay.
Or actually, it was Cerna, Hserna, is the one that asked about it.
Okay. All right. So this is Batman. We're now on to Batman.
Okay.
Now this
is
piece
a side eye.
is 8.5 by 11. Pen and ink Neal. It is a signed piece by Neal. Excuse me. Signed piece by Neal. And it is
Thanks, Nick.
$2,000 to buy. And it is a signed piece. And a number of people asked about this piece from when I put up the page of artwork today, different pieces. So this piece may disappear because a lot of people did ask about it today. it is a nice, different kind of Batman for Neal in regards to doing these kind of pieces. And it's a much finer lined Batman bust than a lot of the other Batman busts that Neal has done. This one actually has nice fine line work to it. I like this piece. I'll be sad when this one goes.
That texturing and cross-hatching that only Neal Adams can do.
Yep.
Many have tried, many have died.
Also, it's like nice keeping.
Well, yeah,
nice
but
keeping on this.
That always does nice keeping.
So
he's got that side-eye attitude. That's right.
Exactly. So this is $2,000 to buy. Again, this can go on the payment plan where a third needs to be put down as the down payment. You can pay the remaining balance over time. As long as we get monthly payments when it is completely paid off, we then ship it out.
This is how I watch the Instagram feed.
Zeea gives Instagram the side eye.
Right. They give it the Clint Eastwood squinty side eye.
Okay, Batman. I love that piece. Okay, next up is Soup's bust profile. So if you have a Batman profile, you need to have a Superman profile. So this is equally a nice Superman bust as Batman was. This has nice, bold inking to it. It's not as fine as the inking was on the Batman piece. Superman is $1,500 to buy. And Superman, is he a signed piece?
He is signed, yes.
He is a signed piece by Neal, pen and ink.
You said 15?
1,500.
I'm putting up my numbers here. I've been very naughty.
I would say it's equally a nice Superman as it was a Batman.
Yes. Well,
but yet
Superman doesn't require as much cross-hatching and line work because
Right.
he's lighter.
Well, what's interesting is the art style in both of them is a little different,
Mhm.
yet they're both very nice.
Yeah.
And they both are definitely like Neal Adams Superman, Neal Adams Batman. Okay. Batman Who Laughs. Now, this is a character that Neal didn't really get to play with, but did enjoy doing after the fact. So he found it at first to be a strange character, but then after drawing it, obviously kind of fell in love with it. And he's drawn this character a couple of times. So Batman Who Laughs, pencil and ink, Neal, signed by Neal, $500. And that's got some nice cross-hatching in the background. Again, nice tight inking. Batman like a Joker. And I thought it was a cool series when it came out. It's a little creepy, but it was cool. Interesting story.
Mm.
So the price on this is $500. I don't know what kind of party we're having downstairs tonight, but
There's an abattoir down there.
okay, I have another Batman. I kind of pulled some of our last Batman profiles tonight, and these are the ones that are not so stoic Batman. They're interesting Batmans because they are different. We refer to this one as the shocked Batman. So this is 8.5 by 11, pencil and ink Neal, signed by Neal for $700.
It is very hard to startle Batman, but if you did, this is what he would look like.
Right. That's like, holy shit.
Spider!
That was what I looked like when I thought a water bug jumped off me. And it was one of the confetti pieces from
Now,
the
I'm
show.
betting you looked a bit more horrified. This is simply startled.
That's what I did. I went, whoop! And kind of jumped back. It also didn't help that I didn't have glasses on because I was getting into the shower.
Yeah.
So $700 for Batman.
I would love to see what my facial expression was when I first noticed that there was a mouse in my house.
Joy's living in New York. Okay, next up is Joker. Well, this is a pretty crazed Joker. Again, the size of the paper is 8.5 by 11.
And he does have his COVID carnation.
$700. Pencil and ink Neal, signed by Neal. My activity goal has made its circle today.
By sitting at a table.
By sitting at a table.
Works for me, man.
It just means my blood pressure right now is high enough, but it thinks I'm exercising. So Joker is 8.5 by 11, $700. Pencil and ink Neal, signed by Neal.
I think everybody's watching Elite Comics right now.
I don't think Elite's on tonight.
No, he's on.
Elite is on?
Elite is on.
Yeah, maybe they're watching Elite. Elite's on every night.
They might be two-timing us.
Can't get away from Elite.
I know, God. Every night.
Hello, Kelly Vera. This is a Wolverine head that Neal did for the frame that went around the Wolverine trading card that Neal did for Marvel. So Neal designed what he wanted to do on the outside frame that we put the cards into. This was the head that he came up with. And this is the original pen and ink.
See, this is the kind of
Wolverine.
comment I much prefer reading on Instagram. Hi, love the art of the great master Neal Adams. Thank you. Thank you for being one of the humans of Instagram. I appreciate that.
And the price on Wolverine is
$600.
$600. So pen and ink Wolverine, $600 by Neal Adams. The paper size I would say is 8.5 by 11.
Yep.
Wolverine sits at probably like
3 by 6.
8 by 6. Pen has long ears. So nice piece. Wolverine. Not too many Wolverines out there. Nope. Okay, this is a newer piece. It hasn't been put into the show. Now, this is 8.5 by 11 paper. It is drawn sideways on the paper. It is from Moon of the Wolf. This is Batman. And this was done for the motion comic that Continuity made as a sample. That got us the astonishing X-Men work that we did as a motion comic that John Cassaday did. So this is Neal's pen and ink. Like I said, this was an internal job for Continuity. He was matching because it was important. One of the goals of what we were doing with motion comic was to use the artwork of the artist as much as possible. So this is Neal drawing in the style that he drew Batman for Moon of the Wolf. This is $700 to buy. 8.5 by 11 is the size. Pen and ink is Neal, and it is a signed piece. But this was never seen unless it probably is in the animatic. It's in the motion comic.
Yeah.
It's in our sample. But has not been seen by human eyes outside of continuity. So $700, nice signed piece, nice Batman in Neal's older style that everybody loves. Moon of the Wolf, Batman. Mike Rock says this is a good one.
Mm-hmm. Well, Batman's smiling. I don't get that every day.
No, you don't. And it's the old Batman insignia.
Mm.
So
With
it
the yellow
is
oval.
a vintage Batman from Neal Adams. So nice Batman piece. Also has a nice price on it. $700. Okay, next up is Robin. Now this is an interesting piece. I think this was Neal experimenting. This is Robin, obviously. He is uplit.
Can you take the price tag off of him, please?
Sorry, I didn't know it's
okay.
He is 8.5 by 11. This is pencil and ink Neal. Color on this is Zeea. I believe it is a sign piece. And
Nope.
Oh, it's not a sign piece.
It is not.
Okay, not a sign piece. This is a piece we never got around to coloring it. And then we ended up doing this after Neal had passed. This is $1,800 to buy. And it is obviously Robin jumping, probably over a roof thing.
Oh, like from one building to another.
Right. And he's being uplit from like a lit, like
like a spotlight or something, maybe.
Well, either spotlight or, in New York, we have buildings that have those slopey glass things on the roofs that the light from somebody's apartment comes through.
Right.
That he is jumping over. Because roofs in New York City have all kinds of crazy stuff.
Oh, sure.
We have water towers. Now it seems like a lot, like even in this area that we work in, I noticed behind us they're building a really nice kind of roofy deck thing.
Yeah.
Off the back of the building behind us.
Can you tell by my that I'm kind of jealous?
So this is $1,800 for Robin.
It comes with my color guide.
Right. It's colored by Zeea. I'm sorry, Zeea. It's colored by Zeea. And the reason why you see this one over here is because Zeea always does a color guide to the side before she puts color down on Neal's artwork because you don't want to mess it up. So this is Zea's color guide to her piece as well as the piece. So you get both things for $1,800. And this would come with a certificate of authenticity that will go along with it. So that is Robin. So who is everybody's favorite Robin?
Well, Dad would say Dick Grayson.
Right. Well, I was like, I like Dick Grayson.
Happy Tower says good deal.
Yes, it is a good deal.
Robin.
But what Robins do you guys like? Okay, we have a Harley Quinn. This is 8.5 by 11. My favorite Robin is the one that called in sick. Well, I mean, we like the Robin that Frank Miller did. I like the Robin that Frank did because it's a girl.
Matthias Argent says, awesome, thank you.
This is Harley Quinn, 8.5 by 11. Pencil and ink Neal. Again, this is not a signed piece, so a certificate of authenticity will go along with it. This is colored by Tim Shin, Zeea Adams, and Jason Adams background. Takes 3 people to color this piece. This is $1,500 to buy.
I just had to kiss that thing with my poppy red is all.
It is Harley Quinn with her pop gun up against a diamond artifact.
Which I have to say, Jason did a kick-ass job on that background.
Mm-hmm. Jason does kick-ass stuff sometimes.
He does.
$1,500 is the price for Harley Quinn. Okay, next up is Dead Man.
Dead Man.
Dead Man is 8.5 by 11. He is a signed piece. This is pencil and ink Neal. And color on the skin texture is actually Neal. And then everything else is Zeea. So this is a Zeea Neal worked piece. And it is $2,000 to buy. It is our last Dead Man piece outside of a painting or probably published work. But it is our last piece like this that we sell. For $2,000 Dead Man, unless something else falls out of the sky. This Dead Man actually did fall out of the sky. It kind of got wedged in our art drawer, and we found it. And we're like, what is this?
He was rescued.
He was rescued, and Zeea finished coloring him, and now we have him out for sale. So he is $2,000 to buy. Again, a third down as your down payment. You can pay this off over time in monthly installments that you control. And when it is completely paid off, we ship it out to you. $2,000 for Dead Man. All right, next one is Batman Short Ears. Everything is stagnant.
Yep, and this is another one that will come with his color guide.
Right. So this is a larger piece. This is 11 by 14. This is a Batman by Neal, pen and ink. Color on this is Zeea. It is a signed piece. Obviously, this is a more updated Batman. That is done by Neal. It comes with Zea's, once again, Zea's color guide is to the side there.
What was the number on this one?
3,000.
Thank you. This one was fun. I enjoyed working on this one.
This has great muscle work, like figure work on this is great. The cape on this is great. It's a very proud Batman by Neal. And this is Neal, once again, let's try something different. Let's crawl into somebody else's shoes. This is kind of like crawling into Frank Miller's shoes, but still keeping the
nealness.
sensitivity of Neal Adams in there. So a really nice piece. This is an older piece we've had. It comes with a certificate of authenticity, which is our old one, where Neal actually had a fingerprint that we used to have Neal do. So that little black smudge there is Neal's signature. And that's a certificate of authenticity that does go with this piece. So it has a really nice certificate of authenticity that most don't come with like that anymore. And the price on this is $3,000. Oops. Let's see what this is here. Okay, next up is Superman, 8.5 by 11, pen and ink Neal. Color on this is Zeea. The price on this is $2,600.
This one is gorgeous, if I do say so myself.
It is a gorgeous piece.
He has a bit in one of my pride and joys, this one.
Yep, it was a gorgeous piece by everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it's Clark Kent changing his way into Superman to help fight a crime that's going on.
This was the job for Superman.
Exactly. 8.5 by 11, $2,600 is the price on this. Sexy Superman by Neal Adams.
Clip going. Too
Good.
sexy for the shirt.
Good tie. Clark Kent has a sexy tie.
It's so much fun trying to do a pattern on a tie when it's like flopping around like that.
Yeah, fluttering around. Yeah.
Actually, I think the hardest tie I've ever had to color was the one that I did on the Dad Voodoo doll on the sketch cover, because I actually put one of Dad's tie, one of Dad's real tie pattern. No. It was one that had it was like cross hatching, and then there was a tiny little bat in like the corners of the squares.
Oh, I know that tie. It's black and gray.
It's over there actually.
I thought Dad was wearing his Joker tie.
Nope, Dad's not wearing his Joker tie.
No. His Tigger tie is over there.
Oh, maybe we'll switch over to his Tigger tie.
Yeah. Okay, next up is, now this is a commercial piece. We showed this on Wednesday. It is a large piece. We did this, I'm going to measure it with my
handy dandy measuring tape.
No, with my handy dandy Cheers bell. Grab that instead of my measuring tape. So this is like 17 by like 9.5, give or take a little bit. We did this probably in the 80s, right? Early 80s. This is one of the rare times because we didn't have copier machines as good as we have now. So this is definitely a piece where this is Neal's artwork that we actually colored the original on our commercial work. So this was also done right after Blade Runner. A number of our clients were interested in like, let's play Blade Runner. So this is kind of like Blade Runner meets Camel cigarettes. And the coloring on this was Neal. Whether somebody assisted with Neal on this, I don't know. But this is pencil ink, and I would say 98% colored by Neal, if not 100% colored by Neal. And this is a signed piece. And this is a vintage piece of commercial work from the 80s.
And it is mounted on a board.
It is mounted on a board. It was done on usually layout bond paper is what we did most of our commercial work on. And I will say, like, outside that window is a whole, like, city, like, weird landscape thing. So this is a heavily worked piece.
And what number did we put on this?
Crap, I don't even know.
Was that the sticker that you found that
It
came
may
off?
be the sticker that I found was 1800, which I can believe that might be the price of this. We'll make it 1800 for tonight.
Works for me.
Because nothing else has lost their price tag, and that was a tag. We only put this up on Wednesday night. But again, nice leather jacket on this guy. There's robotic stuff behind him. I said to Zeea that he lit his cigarette over the laser coming out of the robot's head.
Well, you know, if you have a laser that can do that, then.
Well, that's how I would light my cigarette. If there was a robot in front of me and his head was exploding with a laser beam coming out of it, I'd be like, let me light my cigarette off your laser beam. So, camel, 1800.
Okay, well, next time you have an asthma attack, I will grab a laser.
Pens, that might be right now. Pencil, ink, and color camel. Okay, that girl, full figure. Right, this is a large back row piece, 11 by 14. This is pencil and ink Neal. Color on this is Jason, and this is a tremendous amount of airbrushing on this piece. I would say just about the entire background on this piece. Excuse me.
Actually, the entire background on this piece is airbrush.
Right. Really, the figure work on this is not airbrushed, but everything else is airbrushed. This is pen and ink Neal. Color on this is Jason. It is 11 by 14. It is 1800.
I know. Everybody's saving their money to come see me on Sunday.
Maybe. Everybody's out partying.
It is Friday, and it's
That's
the
all
beginning
we've had in this building is parties.
There's a lot of screaming going on downstairs.
There's a lot of screaming going on. So, a lot of sports, a lot of parties, lots of stuff.
I feel bad for our super.
There's lots of kids also coming home from college right now. 8.5 by 11 Batman aggro pencil. Now this is kind of like Thor. This is a pencil that Neal did for himself to use. He would take this, probably blow it up, and then start light boxing onto another piece of paper.
It's almost like he's like, I have an idea. Let me see if it'll work. Yep, it'll work. Blow it up. Do it.
Right, transfer it. So this is $700 to buy, which is a really nice price on a Batman piece.
So you said 700?
700.
All right. That's a very good price for this piece.
Yeah, exactly.
I like this
Again,
piece.
because it is a pencil that Neal did for himself. This does not have a signature on it, so this would get a certificate of authenticity that would go along with it. The green is watching. Oh no. Happy Towers had a kitchen explosion.
Well, he didn't say explosion. He said a cooking experiment gone wrong. I'm the one that blows things up.
That is an explosion in the kitchen. When you have to clean an experiment that's gone wrong, that's an explosion. So this is $700 to buy, 8.5 by 11 Batman. Again,
That's not entirely true because Mom's cooking experiments going wrong tended to consist of her having a wet towel that she would spin over her head with all the windows open. So they're all different kinds of kitchen accidents.
So this is Batman. Again, it is a pencil that Neal did for himself to lay out what he wanted to draw. He would take this, maybe blow it up, maybe not, and then light box this through his paper onto another piece of paper. $700 is the price for Batman. This has a price of Joker, Harley, Big Boom. Okay, now we're into the big pieces, guys. So they are gorgeous, but they're a little bit more pricey because they're big. So this is an 11 by 17.
But oh, so pretty.
Joker and Harley Quinn pencil and ink Neal. Color on this is Zeea. And we call this Joker Harley Big Boom because of the explosion behind Joker and Harley, which is all color work by Z.
Again, if I remember correctly, that was a car fire I used for reference.
Pen and ink on this is Neal, and it is a signed piece by Neal. The price on this is $3,800.
It's so nice, I'll show it twice.
Thank you, Zeea. It does have a really nice Joker on it.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's why I said
Felix.
it was an explosion. Oh no. Does it look like a Zeea explosion? Because then I think you need the fire department.
Or have you gone all Two-Face on us? Was it just on one side?
So again, Joker and Harley Quinn, gorgeous piece by Neal and Zeea. $3,800 is the price on it. Very large piece, 11/17, and this piece pops. And even though it is a violent piece because of the explosion, it really isn't a violent piece.
Right.
And Joker isn't too scary. But this has actually a lot of fine line work. When you look at Joker's face, it's...
is it so nice I can show it thrice?
You can show it again, Zeea. The Joker face actually has a lot of fine line art to it. A lot of expression. Great teeth. He's kind of handsome. Yet not. If she's
pretty great teeth if yellowed a bit.
Yeah. So really nice piece. Again, it's a large piece, 11/17 is the original size. The price on this again is $3,800.
With the right frame, that's a showstopper.
It is. And it is signed. Okay, next up is another big piece. Like I said, we're kind of onto the bigger pieces now.
Happy says, more like a Z-splosion. I look like Poke Dot guy more than Two-Face. A small Z-splosion.
Okay.
Wow, they're getting louder.
I know. Okay. They're playing a very exciting game of bingo downstairs. This is 23.
Well, now I'm starting to wonder what the prize is.
This is 2,300 to buy. Fantastic Four fighting. Yes, the coronavirus. This is 11 by 17. This is pencil and ink. Neal. Color on this is Tim Shin. It is a sign piece by Neal for 2,300. So it is, if you're into the coronavirus, a cool piece to own or a historical piece to keep that you can keep for your grandchildren or your great-grandchildren. Fantastic for coronavirus. You want to do one more hand scan of that? Because now they'll go like, is that really coronavirus? Which it is. Happy Tower says he's been into the coronavirus twice. So has Kris. So, all right, coronavirus goes to the side. Okay, this is a new piece. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, my ears itching. Allergies. 11 by 14.
Where did I just put my glasses? My glasses! I can't see it without my glasses.
Okay, this is 11 by 14. This is a Neal Adams pencil. It is Robin and Batman. Now this we've done as a print, that you've seen if you've ever been to a convention and you've been to Neal Adams table. We had this as a print. Unfortunately, I could not find the print, but I will find it by next Wednesday. I can get a print out of this print that we'll put along with it. This is Neal's pencil for it, and the price on this is $2,800. This is a really nice, tight pencil by Neal of Batman and Robin. Let's see if we'll run that again.
Now I'm really glad I did not do the face mask. Because this is just supposed to be mineral water.
Yeah.
Burn.
Well, that's
And I've used saline on my eyes. It didn't burn.
That's why I'm interested in that. But I would not. I would just put a little on the outside test. Not in a raw area.
Yep.
Let's see it.
Yeah, start here first.
Okay. Put a little bit and test
Good. Sorry, we're doing a science experiment because I've recently developed like this thing with the skin around my eyes that makes me crazy.
So this is 11 by 14. Batman and Robin. Again, nice tight pencil by Neal. Neal did pencil and ink this as a finish, but this was his original pencil for it. 2,300, and I believe this is a sign piece. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes, it is a sign piece.
Yes. Sorry.
So 11 by 14, Batman and Robin in pencil. Okay, so this is a different Batman and Robin. that is a finished piece. So this is what a finish like of that would have looked like if I had the inked version of it. Get my price tag off of this. Sorry, guys. So this is a Batman and Robin. Again, the paper size is 11-14. Pen and ink Neal. And it is signed by Neal at the bottom. And the price on this is $3,000.
Sorry, I'm trying to find this one. There it is.
Nice, bold and slick inking by Neal. It's on a nice 2-ply paper.
See, they're cheering downstairs. Woo! This is such a great piece of art.
So Batman, and flying through town. Nice Dick Reese and Robin. Again, the paper size is 11-14. $3,000 to buy. Okay, I have a couple more pieces for this evening. I have Two-Face, which is 11-14. Pen and ink Neal. Color on this is Zeea.
And what's his number?
2000. Modeled by Happy Tower. So again, Two-Face, pen and ink Neal. Color on this is Z for 2000. See, if that feels better, if you put it in the fridge, it'll really feel good.
No, it doesn't quite have the no senseness that the A&D has.
Right.
There's a little thing to it at first, but it's not like.
Okay. And then you have the Aquaphor, which will not. It's going to be like the A&D, no different. So nice Two-Face by Neal.
Tim Shin has joined us. Hello, Tim.
I personally love this piece.
I personally love this piece.
Love
He's
that
so pretty.
He's doing the flip the coin. That, and I love how Neal changes the teeth from like the good side to the icky side. Not only does he like lower the mouth, but the teeth get longer.
I like what I did with his eyeball.
Yeah, and his eyeball rocks. But he's got cool teeth on the back side.
Mm-hmm.
And because Dad does teeth, it looks really good.
I did it. I worked his flesh nicely. Not to pat myself on the back, but sometimes I really like some of the pieces that I did.
Zia just blew herself away with her own work. So Two-Face is 2000.
Sometimes I surprise myself.
Okay, next one up is Soup's Colored Torso, and we'll have one more piece after this piece. So this is $1,800 to buy. It is obviously Superman Now, the interesting thing about this Superman is it is pencil ink by Neal. It is color partially by Neal, and then the rest is Z. It has Neal's blue undertones that Neal does. An easy way to spot Neal Adams coloring. And the price on this is $1,800. Size is 8.5 by 11. Pencil and ink Neal. Color somewhat by Neal, a lot by Z. $1,800 is the price. Nice sunset, sunrise. Are we sunsetting or sunrising? Who knows?
Your choice. I think for the Superman one, it's the sun coming up. For the Batman one, it's the sun going down.
Okay. So nice Superman for $1,800. Our last piece for the night is a really big piece, gorgeous piece. Personally, I just like looking at it. So that's why I'm going to make this my last piece for the night. The size on this is 16 by 19. It is pencil ink. Now, this was not finished by Neal. This was Neal's portfolio. It was a piece that Neal was obviously working on. It is completely penciled. It is not completely inked. But it is the famous Talia Batman sitting piece that a lot of people love. It is signed by Neal. And we're selling this for
$10,000.
$10,000.
This is, I just kicked your daddy's ass in the desert and survived a scorpion sting. Bring me a beer. I've had a day.
And then Happy Towers owns a color guide of this by Corey, and I absolutely love it. Right. A lot of people love this piece.
I can show this one again.
What?
I can show this one again.
Okay, I'm going to show it again. So while Zee is showing this, if anybody is seeing this and we're no longer on air because it was the weekend, if there's a piece you're interested in, you can always direct message us. Or if you feel you need to show something to your significant other and they love the piece and they say, sure, let's do it, you can always get in touch with us over the weekend through direct messaging. Generally, we will always answer over the weekend. We'll know to pull the piece and probably talk to you about it on Monday. And we won't have it in the show on Wednesday. Our next show will be Wednesday night. And we are definitely finding more pieces up here in continuity. On our commercial side, some even on, like, we found that Batman piece today we had a couple of new Batman pieces today that were in the show. I just think Friday night, everybody is out, summer is beginning, a lot of people are moving and shifting, and because Zea's eyes are exploding, I'm going to call our night a little early tonight, but we will be back on Wednesday night. And I think Zea's got some new pieces even of herself for Wednesday night.
That's right.
But she doesn't sell it on Sunday. Zeea is at the Forest Hills Comic-Con on Sunday, which obviously is in Forest Hills, Queens. And the show,
put the information up.
Okay, the show starts at
10 o'clock to 3 p.m. So 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Forest Hills High School, which is 6701 110th Street in Forest Hills. You can also look up online www.foresthillscomiccon.com.
There you go. So that's where Z is going to be. She's going to have prints. She's got her voodoo doll. She's got a couple of new pieces she's done, and she will be there with her markers, and we'll be drawing and selling prints. And we will be back on Wednesday night. I suggest everybody tune in on Wednesday night because we have a number of pieces. I'm just checking with some other people before I put them in, just because they have other parts and pieces to certain pieces. So Wednesday night should be a good show of new pieces, and we're going to have some CGCs as well. So Zee and I are going to say good night for tonight, and thanks for watching us. And Wednesday night, we had a lot of fun with you guys, and hopefully next Wednesday night, you guys will be on with us, and we can entertain you some more. So everybody take care, be safe, have a great weekend. We love you guys for supporting us. So take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.